the hell?
Happy Monday! Another week.
It is another week.
Another week in the Pacific Northwest. That is where we are broadcasting from, both of us.
Curt and Jen, this is our pod video cast. Both of us, it's the pod/video cast. And as always, please like, love, enjoy, follow, and or subscribe. We would love it if you could do any of those things. It'd be great and very helpful. Yes.
You want to know what I discovered? How easy it is to hit the thumbs up button when you like an episode. I had to visit YouTube and see our show for something. I forget what. I'm like, I guess I better do what I'm asking everyone else to do. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Good
Thumbs
to go.
Up. Hearts. We'll do it. We'll take a heart. We'll take a thumbs up. I mean, we'd even take a thumbs down if you really hate it.
Well, yeah, be honest. The thumbs down will be taken seriously as well. Today on the program, we've got the top baby names. Maybe a surprise, probably not a surprise for this year. A couple of new ones on the list. And also our question of the day from Friday was a little maybe misunderstood, but we'll tell you about the what's your free candy question.
We have lightsabers and felonies. We have a story about that, which is unbelievable. Would you rather be talked about behind your back or not talked about at all?
Oh, those are your two choices. Like you've not talked about it at all or talked about behind your back, which is probably bad. Just saying. How to make your food taste better. Maybe a questionable way to make your food taste better. And autographed Pope stuff up for auction. If you're a fan, Pope stuff for you to actually own.
Okay.
All right.
A lot of U.S. dollars to buy that kind of stuff, so I doubt I'm going to be able to get it.
It's just, well, we'll get into that when we get to the story. But first, though, what's going on with you, Jen?
I mean, if you're watching YouTube, you can see some balloons in the background, and that is because we celebrated Macey's sweet 16th birthday yesterday, and it was, and we had Mother's Day as well, and it was just, you know what? I was just reflecting back on the day last night with Pat, right. And I'm like, you know what? That was a good day. Like, it was just such a good day. I got to spend the whole day with both my girls and with Pat, and it was good. And I got to see my mom, and Pat got to see his mom and brother. Like, it was just so
a good day.
It was just, really good day. And I hope that Macey felt, despite it also being on Mother's Day, her 16th birthday, that she felt special and seen and loved and all the things that you should feel. And my daughter Riley wrote the best words on Facebook. I
saw that.
They post. Gosh, it was just amazing. She read it to me and she started crying. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And then you started crying.
Of course I did.
Kurt. And everyone was crying.
Of course I did.
Those were very good, very well chosen words.
Yeah, it was very, very sweet. And also about her sister. She did a post about her sister, and it makes my heart happy. We just had a good day. And I decorated Macey's room with I bet you there was close to, between the upstairs and downstairs, over 100 balloons that I had blown up with one of my friends, Ryan. We just sat in his garage with the air compressor, blew up balloons on Saturday, and then I decorated the crap out of her room. I'll post it on Facebook. I have a little video of it. It's pretty cool.
No helium balloons, just regular ones?
Yeah.
That's okay. You kind of want that, right? You want them down on the floor so they walk through the balloons.
Well, there was that, and I hung a ton of them with, you can't see this. Well, let's see. I'll see that. There's a 16 up there. But
double sticky tape or something?
Her room was full of hanging balloons from the ceiling. And I was not very ninja-like while she was still sleeping. I know she woke up.
Well done, Mom.
Thanks. Okay, what did you do?
Well, our kids, which are the dogs that we have and are fostering. So we've got Bella the Beagle, which is our dog. And then these two little German Shepherd pups that we're fostering for the Washington German Shepherd Rescue. Looks like one of them has been adopted. Not officially out of the house yet, but we met with the one of the nice things about this is they go, when somebody tries to adopt the animal, they go through all the paperwork and they fill out forms and questionnaires and everything. But then Dana and myself, as the foster parents, if you will, we then meet with the potential, adoptees, and it's up to us to say, you know what, we just got a bad feeling about these people. We say no. And that's it. They're like, okay, that's that. But these people were great. Actually, one of them is a firefighter, and and his girlfriend or wife is a dental student, and so they just love German Shepherds, and so they wanted to adopt the smaller one of the two, which if you go to the Washington German Shepherd Rescue website, her name is Sinclair on that website, which leaves one more that is probably just going to end up here. I believe that Actually, I know that's going to happen because I already paid the fee and everything.
You
So
did? It's official because on Friday, when I was at your house doing the podcast, Dana was like, I don't know if we're keeping any of them at this point because Bella is not having it. Because Bella's an older dog and
yeah.
she's had these two puppies like just at her, at her, at her.
Well, the one that's being adopted, or it looks like it's been adopted, Sinclair, is the spicier of the two. She is always up in Bella's business, and the other dog, who we've named Matilda, or Tilly, is much more mellow. So it's really the one. She's just a puppy. This Sinclair is just a puppy, and she's Bella's like, you know what? I don't need any puppies around. The other one, much less puppy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Congratulations, new dad.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll have some pictures here soon, I guess. We'll have to, I'll just hold the dog up. Now, you learned something over the weekend.
Well, I also learned that we both learned
Yes.
because I was reading this little story about the Kentucky Derby winner, which was Sovereignty.
Yeah.
The jockey on the horse, Junior Alvarado, is that how you say his name? Was fined over $60,000, and I'm like, okay, he won, so why was he fined? For hitting the horse with his crop too many times during the race.
I did not know there were rules about that, and I'm glad that there are. And it turns out that the rule is 6 times for the race, and apparently he used his crop 8 times.
Oh.
So I guess that looked to me like that's $30,000 per crop hit. Yeah, I mean, you've all seen the pictures of the jockeys. Yeah. So I'm not happy that it was done, but I'm happy that there are restrictions and regulations about that. And so apparently he won $310,000 for the race. So, but 60 grand is a pretty big chunk of that. So that's what happens.
Well,
don't
I didn't
use
know
your
that.
crop too much.
I wanted to pass that along because I had no idea, and I too like that there's a rule about that because I always felt bad for the horses when they're being whipped.
Yes, well, hopefully hopefully it doesn't hurt them as much as get their attention, or that's how they know go faster or whatever. But we don't want to get into all the issues with horse racing and stuff. Some people are completely against it, but there you go. So I wonder where that $60,000 will go. It should go to the horse.
The horse, yeah, like pampering the horse and maybe some charity organizations. I don't know. It'll probably go right to the commission, the horse racing commission.
More than likely, yeah.
That's our money. That's our money. That's our money.
All right.
That's our money.
That song.
Baby names.
Who normally sings that song, by the way? Do you know?
Oh yeah, the Ting Tings. I love that group. The Ting Tings, which is actually just 2 people. It's the vocalist, the female vocalist, and then the guy plays the drums and other things there, because there's not a whole lot going on musically with those songs, but I do like them.
Nice, the Ting Tings. Okay, so the top baby names, and for the 6th straight year in a row.
Let's not say it just yet while people are thinking about it.
There's the number 1 is the same for boys and girls.
Yeah. So if you were, let's go through the other popular girls' names for 2024. You have on that list Sophia and Ava and Evelyn. This is the top 10 in reverse order. Isabella, or just Bella, Sophia. There's 2, excuse me, there's 2 Sophias on here. Number 10 is Sophia with an F, and number 6 is Sophia with a PH in the middle.
Okay.
Mia made the top 5. Charlotte Amelia is number 3. Emma is number 2, and the number 1 most popular girl name in 2024 for the 6th year in a row, Olivia.
For the 6th year in a row, it's been number 1.
Wait, it's been in the top 6. I'm sorry.
I thought this headline was misleading to me then.
The Social Security Administration released its annual baby name list for Mother's Day, and for the 6th straight year, Olivia and Liam were the top 2 baby names in 2024. Liam has been number 1 for boys for 8 straight years. Olivia has been at the top for 6. Okay, so Olivia has been for 6 years in a row, and now we just gave away that Liam is the boy's name.
Way to go, Curt Cruz.
You know what? You can sue me. $60,000.
All right, well, here are the top boy names in case you're wondering, starting with number 10 and working our way up. William is number 10, followed by Lucas, Elijah.
Yeah, Eli or Elijah, right?
Okay.
Mateo.
Henry, James. James is very traditional, biblical.
Yeah.
Theodore, Oliver, Noah, and then, like you said, Liam.
Theodore?
Teddy.
Why I understand that, but I don't you know the other ones I'm like, oh yeah, I can see that. I don't know I've run into any Theodores.
Oh, my favorite bartender, Cam, and his wife, Alex, they have a baby named Theodore. Well, he's not a baby anymore, but Theodore.
Okay, they
Yeah.
call him Teddy, I imagine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Theodore now more so. Theodore. It's Theodore.
should we drop in here that the names that made the biggest gains last year for boys was the name Truce. Somebody has a kid named Truce.
Interesting. And
Elani for girls, Ailany. Elani, probably, I guess.
Lonnie.
Truce jumped more than 11,000 spots to 991. So even though it made a big jump, the name Truce is still 991st for boys' names.
That's a big jump, though, from 11,000 to.
Right. And Elani jumped from 855th place up to 101st.
Well, there you go. Now you know. Are you guys having babies? Is that why you brought this up?
No. Nice try.
Ooh, I'm sexy and I know it. Yeah, I'm sexy and I know
This
it.
deals with your
Ooh, I'm sexy and I know
your number.
Your number. I was just gonna say that. Yep. How many partners have you had in your life?
Right.
What's the deal with this, Curt? I saw you put this in here. I'm like, okay, we're going there.
Well, a new study claims to have found the quote unquote sweet spot for the ideal number of sexual partners. And I don't know how people now. I imagine as soon as we say this, everybody's going to say, "Well, let me see. For me, it was 1, 2, 3, 75 or whatever." That's not me. But a new study that says they found the sweet spot, the socially acceptable ideal number of partners, and it's different for men and women.
Of course it is.
For men, the magic numbers were about, and this is for your lifetime partners, 4 to 5, with 2 or 3 being casual, it says. And the age for first encounter was between 18 and 20.
Okay.
For women, the ideal was lower, 2 to 3 total partners, with 1 or 2 casual ones, and the age of the first encounter between 16 and 18.
That's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. The study used data from Germany, where the age of consent is 14. Woof. Maybe that's why it's lower than you would think. I don't know.
This is so interesting. The thing is, the study was focused on perception of 25-year-olds. So apparently that's lifetime for 25. What?
So are you having 25-year-olds saying, here's how many? Okay. I guess I thought it was based on, excuse me, based on, people of all ages saying, here's how many partners I had, and I'm 80 or whatever, but apparently this is 25-year-olds that are offering this up.
That's interesting that they just focused on 25-year-olds because those numbers make more sense.
In any event, it says people with moderate sex lives are judged most positively, while those at either extreme, super active, or completely inactive tend to face more, quote, punishment. Punishment?
What does that mean? Like, what?
Punishment like...
They say their number?
That's punishment like, I've been a bad boy, huh? That's not...
You should not do that again.
I will never do that again. All right. That is the Imperial Death March from Star Wars on violin.
It is.
It's
My speaker down.
that's not nearly as ominous as dan 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 dan. So, stupid criminal, right?
Well, I mean, when you focus in felonies and lightsaber, I'm gonna go with yes.
This is a 25-year-old guy in Nebraska named Aiden. He was arrested after he attacked his female neighbor, his 37-year-old female neighbor, and her 7-year-old daughter with a Star Wars lightsaber.
What?
Which those things, they're plastic. They don't really cut off any body parts as far as I know.
Oh, they don't? I thought they did.
Oh, Jen.
Whatever.
So he first struck the girl while she was out playing with her friends. The mom confronted him. Then he hit her in the arm and shoulder with a lightsaber. Both the mother and daughter say he hit them hard enough that it was painful. Police were called. Aiden admitted to the attack. He told cops he was upset with the victims because his rent was going to be raised, supposedly because the victims kept a shared thermostat too high. Wow, that's reasonable.
I mean, get out your lightsaber if your rent's going up.
Aiden was charged with 2 felonies, second-degree assault, and child abuse. I mean, anything could be a weapon if you smack somebody hard enough, I guess, right? I
I
wonder if
mean,
the whole time he was going.
no, if he has a good lightsaber, it does it for him.
Well, did he have the red lightsaber or the blue one? Because
Probably the red.
because he's a bad guy. Let's just say, don't attack people with lightsabers. Can we get behind that?
How about just not attack people with a lightsaber or without? I don't know.
Keep your lightsabers to yourself. Exactly.
Well, maybe not that lightsaber.
You did it. You did it right there. I'm
Not surprised.
not surprised in the least. This is some good news for Seattle.
More and more people want to visit our city, the Emerald City, Seattle.
Which, if you've not been here, a lot of people are Seattle's changed for the worse. It's not like it used to be. Downtown Seattle, and there's some truth to that.
There is a lot of truth to that, Curt. I was there yesterday.
Where are we at?
I went to Puzzle. Was it called Puzzle Break? We went to an
Okay.
escape room for Macey's birthday.
And I apologize for saying where were you at? That's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
What would you say instead? Where were you?
Yeah.
Mm.
Or, yeah,
Where art thou?
that one. According to marketing organization Visit Seattle, 40 million visitors came to Seattle and King County in 2024. That's a 5.3% increase from 2023 and up to 95% of visitor levels before the pandemic. Okay, before the pandemic. Wait, before the pandemic? Wow.
According to Visit Seattle, the Emerald City and King County pulled in some big tourist bucks last year. We were told visitors spent $8.8 billion, a 7.2% jump from 2023. That's significant.
Yeah. And they also have the statistic on here that tourism last year supported more than 68,000 jobs in Seattle and King County. That's almost a 5% increase from 2023. So, this doesn't necessarily affect everybody because if you don't read the news, maybe you wouldn't know. But Jen and I have a very hard time finding local good news stories. Every day we check all, so many sources for information, but of course we go to the local TV news, Cairo and King and Como and Fox and okay, let's go find some things to talk about. And it's a lot of kind of gruesome, bad stuff.
I mean, we do joke before the show because it's like, okay, what did you find locally to put in the show? And then
let's talk about this.
Oh, so and so stabbed so and so. Oh, there was a drive-by shooting. Oh, someone got killed in this. I mean, it's just if it bleeds, it leads. It's true.
Let's leave it that exactly. I've got my fake laughter ready to go when we talk about that story too. So anyway, it is good to hear that there's some good news as far as tourism not being, not only being affected negatively, but actually growing for the Seattle area.
Well, we are a great city to tour, especially in the summertime. I mean, come on.
You grew up here, Jen. I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up born in Cincinnati, went to school in Iowa. I lived in Chicago and Cincinnati and Dayton and Detroit. It's a pretty amazing part of the country out here. Hence, just so people know, there have been job availabilities that have come up since you and I lost our jobs last April Fool's Day. There was a morning show / program director position in Austin. There was a morning show opening in Columbus that, was discussed, and we're not leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here we are. It's a great place. It's a great place.
So we'll set this up with our question of the day from Friday. And I guess I can't blame people for focusing in on one aspect of this. We shared a story about, it was a woman. Why don't you talk about it, Jen? It was this woman, and it was she was sharing her story.
She was driving down the road. She loves goats. She has a bumper sticker on her car that says, "We'll stop for baby goats." And then a guy pulls up next to her on the road and says, "Hey, I actually have goats with me." So she follows him to his workplace. And sure enough, he had baby goats in his car. And she said it was the best day ever. And so the whole thing was she was willing to possibly be kidnapped and trafficked for the chance to hang out with baby goats. So that is why we asked, what is your free candy? And when we say free candy, it's like, hey, want some free candy, little person? Like, what's your free candy? What would you get in the white van for? That's what we said. And then some people were like, come on, this world is way too crazy to do anything like that.
Now, in the defense of this lady, if it was me, and he's like, I've got baby goats in the back of my truck. My workplace is a mile up the road. I can pull over there and you can see my baby goats. That's a little bit different than, hey, why don't you come to my house? I've got a room down in the basement full of goats.
It was supposed to be-
Regardless,
it was
a
supposed to
lot of
be
people did go with the I never, ever, ever would I ever do that for any reason, which is
It
what
was
Ann
just
said. I
supposed to
love baby goats, but I would not ever do anything that I would, follow somebody to. Anyway, we have who said this?
It was supposed to be a little lighthearted. Anne said, absolutely nothing ever, not a nope. And I love baby goats. Life is insane with a lot of craziness. Taking chances, even with that, what seemed good intentions can turn into tragedy. And Connie said, I agree with Anne.
Yes. And so safety first, obviously. Carrie, though, we have donkeys. Want to come play with my donkeys?
Carrie would absolutely go play with donkeys. He loves
Corey
them.
said that her free candy would be lost dogs, free wine or margaritas, baby goats or donkeys as well. She says, I would think twice before going. I would think twice before going, though. Does that count as being careful? Again, the difference between come to my house, let's go in my basement, and let's pull off the side of the road. I've got goats in the back of my truck, I guess is a little different, right?
That's true. Eric said, so then there's some people that took it a little more lightheartedly, like we had intended. I should have probably worded it a little differently. Eric said Tillamook ice cream. Jenny said chocolate covered gummy bears. They're so good. And Randy said,
Wait. That exists?
What?
Chocolate covered gummy bears. I'm finding about this for the first time.
Are you Curt Cruz?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Not eating chocolate covered gummy bears, evidently.
I don't love them. I mean, I love that Jenny loves them, and that's awesome. I have tried them. I don't love them.
Is it a weird combination of sweet? Well, they're both sweet, but one's gummy and one's chocolatey. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try those out.
Yeah, you should. Randy said bacon.
With an exclamation point. And Laurel, this is nice. Ways or means to help the less fortunate, extra money and time. Does that apply? I mean, it's nice that she would follow somebody.
Yeah, to go help
Okay.
them or help some or with the opportunity to help others. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the answers. Sorry if we were a little bit vague in our description, but it was a fun premise, right?
It was supposed to be a little more lighthearted than maybe people, and plus it was too complicated. We need to simplify our questions. That's what we learned from that.
The question will be simpler for today. How's that?
It will. This is so interesting. Would you rather be trash talked behind your back than not mentioned at all?
When I first read the first line from that headline, I thought it was going to say, would you rather be trash talked behind your back or to your face? Right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was going to be. But the actual question, would you rather be trash talked behind your back than not mentioned at all? So basically, some people are saying, there is a percentage we'll get to in a second. You know what? Rather than not be talked about at all, I'm okay if you trash talk me behind my back.
Well, there was a new study out. We're
Seems
going
a
to
bit
talk
bizarre
about
to me.
that, which says that 15% of people would rather be trash talked behind their backs than not mentioned at all. Where do you stand with that, Curt?
I don't know how you would know if you're being trash talked behind your back. I don't care if something, I mean, it's
No, if you had a choice though, would you rather be trash talked behind your back or just not mentioned?
I'd rather not be mentioned, I think, because
Me too.
we're obviously talking about friends here, I think. So if it's somebody that you're friends with and they're saying negative things about you behind your back, they shouldn't be your friend, obviously.
Right.
But I think it's kind of an unusual thing that some people would say. So here's what the researchers conducted 5 experiences, and in the end, they found that 64% of people want to be gossiped about behind their backs. Oh, when it's something positive.
Right.
That's not trash talking, and that's gossiping when it's something positive. Roughly 25% want to be talked about when it's ambiguous, whether it's something good or bad. And here's the 15%, about 1 in 7 people would want people gossiping about them about something negative, if the alternative is that people don't talk about them at all. What about you?
I do not want to be trash talked, but if someone has that, this goes back to the little old rule that exists that says if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. And that's how I feel. Like, I don't want people to trash talk me. If people have a problem with what I might have said or done, then I want to talk through it, because it probably was not my intention, like the way that they're taking it. Because I try not to partake in that I just try not to.
But I can see how it's difficult. People love to gossip at work,
Yeah,
and sometimes
for
that leads
sure.
to, did you hear about so-and-so and what they did? So I mean, I guess it's going to be a part of culture. And it takes a lot to stand up and say, listen, don't talk about them. They're good people.
That's right.
It's easy to get caught up in that. But yeah, I'm still going to say, just don't talk about me at all unless if you're going to trash talk me. While we know when we were on the radio, for everybody that calls and says, you guys are awesome, there's 2 or 3 people saying, you guys suck.
Well, there is a lot of that you have to endure
Yeah.
with that. And that's hard. That was hard for me because, it's like, I don't want people to hate me.
Or even not like me a little bit. Is everybody standing up and stretching for the 7th inning?
I just want to know why you're playing that music.
Well, turns out, we have a new pope, and this pope is from Chicago.
Yeah.
Being from America in the first place, being from the United States in the first place, first pope from the United States ever. And as such, this pope, when he was is Francis. Now he's Pope Leo the 14th?
No. This is Pope. This is a baseball signed by the late Pope Francis. Is going up for auction.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
okay,
that's okay. And it's expected to command up to $15,000. And he signed at Francisco.
So this, okay, and this is my bad for not reading the story ahead of time. So now I'm reading it. So the Pope who just passed, Pope Francis, signed a baseball. There's a collector in New York said he spent years trying to get Pope Francis to sign a baseball, and somehow it happened, and now he's willing to part with it. Now, see, if this was the new Pope from Chicago, I'd say, okay, he probably signed a lot of baseballs. But this is going to be a super rare thing. The fact that it's only going to fetch, they say, about $15,000 seems like that's kind of low.
I mean, it's a baseball signed by the Pope. I don't know.
Still, guess what? Pope Francis is not going to be signing any more baseballs ever.
Well, that's so right. So there's only one baseball that exists that Pope Francis has signed, and it's only going for 15. Okay, I get what you're saying. And you've done a lot of auctions, so you know how this stuff works.
Well, and also, yeah, it's a you see little things like here's a Kurt Cobain's first ever baseball glove, and it sells for $1 million. So it just seems kind of low to me. But that's what it's saying. They're saying maybe it will fetch this much. That's what it's. But who knows? We could be talking about this in a week and say, guess what? It sold for $100,000.
Pope Leo, the new Pope now, loves baseball. I think you mentioned that's from Chicago. Is a big White Sox fan, and people spotted him in the crowd at some old footage at the World Series back in 2005. So I guess the question would be, will this guy sign baseball since he loves baseball so much? Who knows?
It's we shall see. It just seems like to me the Pope is like this otherworldly figure. You're not going to see the Pope, hanging out having a Starbucks or something like that. And it feels like with the new Pope, that might be the case. Yeah, I
was just going to say that I feel like with the new Pope, he seems so much more accessible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that has anything to do with him being American. Maybe it does. It must, that I feel that way. Because I feel like, I don't know. He looks approachable. I don't know.
But now he's living in Vatican City, so he's not going to be around the States as much anymore, probably.
I've been there before, to the Vatican City.
Did you hang out with the Pope? Did you have him sign a baseball?
I did not.
That was a missed opportunity, I guess. Even though he wasn't there then. What's the deal with this?
I wanted to talk about this because I have a child that, and when I say child, she's older now, but that has some mental health issues that she experienced. And I read this and I'm like, oh my God, the headline is teens are self-diagnosing based on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know that you can learn a lot from those really short videos, like how to steam carrots or how to mend a pair of socks. Like there's all these little how-to real quick videos, right? But now there's these people that are claiming to be mental health specialists saying that these are things, this is how you can diagnose if you have this or this. And so they're finding that teens are self-diagnosing like common things of ADHD, OCD, autism, even rare personality disorders. And there's just these concerns, as there should be, from actual mental health people saying many times they're not even giving correct information. Just start there. And it's just a tiny little chunk of a very complicated, I don't want to say disease, but situation, like condition, right? So don't do that. Like this is staggering to me. Around 50% of the most popular mental health videos on TikTok were misleading, according to two licensed psychologists who reviewed them. And then many times what is happening is people are trying to sell something. So
Yep.
Right there, you can kind of discredit what they might be saying. Anyway, it was just, here's the thing. If you have teens, or teens, if you're listening, don't believe everything that you see or hear or read, especially on social media. I can be guilty of it for sure, but it's
Right.
not going to have to do with my mental health.
Well, one of my closest friends is a doctor, and we joke about when I see him. I'm sorry, allergies. When I see him, we joke about how people will come to him. I've got a cough and I know what it is. And he's like, how did you find out? Well, I went to WebMD, and WebMD says, because I've got this cough, that I've got a broken leg. Like, okay. So he jokes about, what you read on WebMD does not equal my 8 years of medical school or whatnot. So,
I mean, I do go to WebMD sometimes.
right. And you leave it going, oh, I know what this is for sure. That'd be very frustrating for me if I was a doctor. So again, yeah, you probably cannot trust a lot of these places. So don't just take their word as gold and
50%
self-diagnose
of them
yourself.
are misleading. I mean, half of what you're seeing, and they're even feeding. There was part of that study that I didn't mention here, but I will right now. They simulated like some accounts that were supposed to be like 13-year-olds, right?
Right.
And what they realized is they would, what is it? I just scrolled past the story. Every let's see. Found that within 5 to 6 hours on TikTok, almost 1 in 2. So 1 in 2 videos served to them was about mental health, because the algorithms, oh, we know this is a 13-year-old, oh, we're going to feed they decide what they're going to feed these, based on your age and sex and all the things. Anyway,
it's a dangerous thing, and as you mentioned, it's usually they're trying to sell something, so don't fall for it, right? In our foodie section today, what's wrong with my voice, Jen?
I don't know. Do you want me to take this?
I haven't had enough sleep because I've got puppies and we're up every 2 hours letting them out. Have you ever wondered why brunch tastes so much better than, this is how it starts. Have you ever wondered why brunch tastes so much better than a normal meal? I don't know if that's true or not. It could have something to do with the fact that you're not only eating food, you're also having some booze.
Well, wait a second. I had a brunch yesterday and it didn't have anything to do with booze.
All right. According to science, alcohol might make your food taste better. So I suppose any meal that you're having with alcohol, they're saying, is going to taste better with food. This is a study published in 2015. Maybe that's when they started it. They gave half the women in a study alcohol and half the women a saline solution while they were eating. And afterwards, they all ate lunch, right? Okay. The women who had alcohol prior to eating said their food tasted better, and they ate more than women who didn't have any alcohol. Okay. And a test with men, they gave some vodka and orange juice cocktail, and others got just straight orange juice. And again, the study concluded those who drank the alcohol had an increased appetite for high-fat, savory foods.
The most interesting part of the study suggested that people actually feel rewarded when eating high-fat foods after drinking alcohol. So there you have it. If you aren't feeling your meal, you could always add a little booze and it could taste better. There you go.
I don't know.
Or don't.
If you have enough booze, you probably can't taste it very much at all. So you're like, it's fab. This is the best French fries I've ever had. Give me another beer.
The wheels are falling off the bus.
Well, here we are, trying to redeem ourselves with today's question of the day: redemption.
I'm gonna ask the question, Curt, because you're the one that has to mention it or answer it, because you've been married. You're married right now. I should say you're married.
Yes.
You've been married a long time when blank.
I would say you can go to the bathroom with somebody else, with them watching, but that doesn't happen in this house.
It doesn't?
No. And it's got to be number one, not number two, right? I mean, does anybody go in while number two is going on with their partner?
I don't.
You do.
No, I don't.
Oh, I saw that face. I thought that was like, well, it's not so bad.
I mean, everybody poops.
All right. You've been married a long time when, and we're going to get some fun answers from this one, I'm sure.
I hope.
That's the idea, at least.
All right. We'll post it on Facebook, Curt and Jen in the morning. I'll also post it on my personal Facebook, Jen Pirak.
Mm-hmm.
We are so glad you're here. Thank you for letting us spend a Monday with you. We're going to be back with a new episode on Wednesday.
Right.
And in the
I'm bouncing all over the place with the music. Sorry.
It's okay. meantime, make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and laugh because it's good for the soul. Have a good one.
Thank you.